everybody, and welcome to the Everyday Adventure Show. I'm Steven. I'm here with Nathan.
Hey everyone, good to see you.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing really good. It's been a good day so far.
Good. Well, we're excited for what we're talking about today, but Nathan, what has the show meant for you? How has it impacted your life?
Yeah, I've really noticed it has made a huge difference. It's consciously, I've been more aware of just slowing down, enjoying the moment, really making every day an adventure and every moment an adventure. How about you?
I feel like the biggest thing has been just being so much more conscious of the everyday moments and the people in my life, and it's just been really fun to be able to just kind of, like you said, slow down and just take advantage of those everyday moments and the challenges that we've been doing, just being conscious of blessing someone, being conscious of I'm going to do something that takes me out of my comfort zone. So it's been really fun, and we hope that it's been impacting you too. So we would love to hear how the show has been impacting your life, but we'd also love to hear what we can do to help it impact your life in a greater way. So we love that you're watching, that you've been a part of this journey, and so we just invite you to engage with us. It's awesome. But today, we're going to be talking about nighttime routines. Last week, we talked about morning routines and how to start our day in a way that is like a jump start. And so today we're talking about nighttime routines. Why are nighttime routines important?
Yeah, nighttime routines I think are super, super important because really what we do before we go to bed at night is going to impact how we sleep and how we wake up the next day. And sometimes we get this stigma that nighttime routine is like the 5 minutes before you go to bed, but that's not the case. Studies have shown that what you do an hour before you go to bed will affect your sleep, will affect how you wake up, all of those things. And so today, we're going to do some do's and don'ts of a nighttime routine. Steven, what do you got for us?
Yeah, so with this, we feel like there are some things that you do in order to have a healthy nighttime routine and that you don't do. And so the first don't is that it's all about the hour before and what we watch. Don't be glued into a screen before you go to bed. So most of us, if you're like us, you've spent time scrolling while you're laying in bed. You're scrolling through Instagram, you're watching videos, Netflix, Hulu, YouTube, whatever it is, and that's kind of how we end our day. But studies show that what actually is happening is that our brains are receiving these electronic impulses saying stay awake, be alert, and so it makes falling asleep that much harder. And in fact, 87% of teenagers sleep with their phone. And so not only is it on the nightstand as an alarm, but it's in their bed with them, under their pillow or in their hand, and oftentimes waking up several times throughout the night to check it, to look at the snap or whatever the case is. And obviously this affects the way that we sleep.
Oh yeah.
And so what are some of the things that we can replace this as we're going to bed that hour before?
Absolutely. Some things that I've found that have been super helpful is to simply read a book. It really, really helps to really get your mind slowing down. It's getting off the screen. You're not getting those electronic signals to continue to stay awake. And if you've ever been reading before, sometimes it can really put you to sleep. So that's one thing that definitely can help.
It's true. Yeah, I feel like kind of on the same note is just the spiritual connection at the end of each day.
Yeah.
Reading the Bible, praying. And I remember it was probably when I was 22 or 23, I kind of went through this kind of rough season or this rough situation. And at the end of the night, I was constantly, my mind was racing. And so during that season, I started not only just spending time with the Lord in the morning, but at the end of the night too. The last thing I would do is read my Bible. The last thing I would do is pray. And it kind of, allowed me to sleep. I had peace and there was no anxious thoughts, but it kind of jump-started this new habit that I want to start every day and end every day in the presence of God. Is that something that's been beneficial for you too?
Absolutely. I think, God's thoughts are the most powerful thoughts that we can ever have. So why not think about his thoughts and what he thinks about us and what his word says, while we go to sleep at night? That's actually, even scriptures say that. Like David in the Psalm says, as he's laying on his bed, he wants to be thinking about the Lord.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That kind of leads to the next don't in a way. It's the things that we consume, the things that we take in, the things that we eat, the things that we drink before we go to bed. And so the biggest two are sugary foods and obviously caffeine. And those, again, affect our body and make it more difficult to sleep. And also the things that happen while we sleep that are natural don't happen when we do that. And so that's another big don't. What's another do?
Another do I would say is definitely brush your teeth, floss, nightly hygiene. Yes.
Nah,
Before bed,
not
every
that.
night.
Not that kind of floss. Not that kind.
We love you though.
Yeah, fine. See you later.
Yeah, no, definitely not that kind. But no, I like that. I think it's not just about like doing what your mom said and being hygienic, but it's also about like these disciplines. I think flossing is one of the hardest things to do. It's not that hard. It's like pretty easy, but it's one of the most difficult like habits to develop, and it's kind of a pain. But Craig Rochelle talks about flossing, and he makes it a habit to do that the night before he goes to bed, and it affects everything else. He kind of talks in a book about how when he doesn't floss, like he doesn't get good sleep, and he hits snooze, and then when he hits snooze, he doesn't spend time with Jesus, and he's mad all day, and it's kind of this dramatic sequence. And it might not be that dramatic, but it's those little disciplines the night before that really affect the next day. And
It's true.
kind of the last don't that we have is this is don't dwell and think about the negatives that happen during the day. Try not to take those stressful thoughts with you to bed. It's obviously what's going to be running through your mind. It makes it very difficult to sleep. So one of the biggest things that we say to do is to end the night with gratitude, with being thankful. And so it's perhaps what I do is I take a notebook, I call it my gratitude journal, and I just will take time to just list one or two things that I'm thankful for that day. Something that somebody did for me, something that I experienced, something that I saw that just made me remember how good life is and how good God is. And those are the thoughts that we want at the end of the night.
Yeah. And I think sometimes too, like, even when you've had a really, really bad day, there is still something good that you can find. Like, even going to the simplest things of, like, you have a bed that you get to sleep in. You have a shelter that you're able to stay in from the freezing cold weather currently. You know, finding those small things, and that really does help, that I've noticed, and just to even be more aware of God throughout my night and throughout the day.
Awesome. Yeah, so we hope some of these nighttime routines can kind of help you as you're every night going to bed, that you would set kind of a habit. And so it's not about doing what we all do or, you know, doing the same thing. It's what works for you, what it really allows you to kind of rest, and what allows you to kind of disconnect from maybe those anxious thoughts that you have, and just really allow you to get to that restful state to end the day well, so that you can start the next day to live it to the fullest. So we hope that this helped you today, and now it's time for the adventure wheel. And so there he is. There's Wheelboy Ryan.
I'm back. I won't floss this time.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. So Wheelboy Ryan's got the adventure wheel, and we hope that you've been keeping up with the challenges. And if you haven't been, go back at our Instagram and swipe through it and see the other challenges, and maybe do those throughout the next week as well. But what is the challenge of the week, Nathan? You want to give it a spin?
Nathan's gonna spin it.
Let's see.
What's good?
Living room camp out.
All right, nice. Okay, this one we're really excited about, the living room camp out. So what we are challenging you to do, especially if you're in North Dakota like we are, Minnesota, you can't really camp outside, so do it in the living room. And so what we're gonna have you do is either pitch a tent or make like a blanket fort with your roommates.
Yes.
Blanket fort, you like that?
Oh yeah.
Nice. So
Blanket
do
fort.
that.
We're roommates.
Make a blanket fort, or bring out the tent and spend the night in the living room under the stars. Whatever that means to you. But
We'll leave the light on for you.
make some s'mores over the stove, the electric stove. You know, make something to eat that you would do camping out. And so we would love to see you guys do this. So take some pictures of this and tag Everyday Challenge so we can see them and share them. And so we hope that you participate this week. Thanks, Wheelboy Ryan.
You bet, guys.
Doing your job like we pay you.
Pay you in high fives.
We don't pay him. But hey, we are again just grateful that you have joined us on our adventure, and so we hope that you continue to enjoy the video, subscribe, follow us on Instagram, let us know your thoughts on what we can do to make this more impactful to you. But we'll see you next week. Have a great weekend.